My name's not Brandon. I'm going to start again. Who am I?
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's you. Oh, wait. That's me?
That's usually you. I don't know. Anyway, you
Don't worry.
Find us.
That outtake made it into the front of this episode. You don't have to worry about that.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with the 90s. You can also find the video version of this podcast released every Monday on YouTube by going to namely90s.com/YouTube. Finally, if you'd like to throw us a bone, show us a little support, you can head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/namely90s with the 90s. And I'm watching Brandon give me a weird look because I just said throw us a bone.
Please bone us on Patreon.
Bone us, then patronize us on patreon.com/namely90s. Well, it's been 4 minutes since we last recorded a podcast.
Wow. I thought I'm the one that usually takes away the magic of podcasting for people.
There is no magic here. Let me just say that right now.
It's a loveless marriage. What?
Oh.
Wow. I've said nothing except for that's you, and it's a loveless marriage. Let's throw the trifecta on. Why didn't you look at me during?
Oh gosh, that's too funny.
So what's new with you?
Not much is going on. We're waiting for our yard to get landscaped patiently. I think by the time this comes out, it'll be another couple of weeks. We're tired of having a dirt patch in our backyard, so that's really exciting. But yeah, just trying to survive the heat and hanging in there. I heard this interesting thing on a podcast today about social media and the scrolling thing. Do you ever scroll mindlessly?
I am. Are you talking about the doom scroll?
Well, just where you get onto an app, a social app, and you just start scrolling to new content because it's endless.
Yeah, doom scrolling. I
didn't know that was a term.
I figured that was what you were talking about.
What is? I've never heard the term. That's interesting.
It's that feeling of just you're essentially just falling through all of the stuff that you're scrolling through. Doom scrolling. Yeah,
it's like. Apparently, some people, therapists or whatever, believe that it's like
doom scrolling is mindlessly scrolling through negative news articles, social media posts, or other content sharing platforms.
I guess it's not always negative in my case, but it's kind of a good point because I scroll through this stuff and realize
you get all that FOMO as you're scrolling through it.
But I just start to absorb being angry. Like, for example, one of the things
that's exactly what it is.
But some of it's positive is my point. Like, I'm not
positive
looking for the
anger.
Negatives. Yeah, but I'm not doom scrolling. You said is negative articles. Like, there's some positive stuff in Facebook. For example.
But it also creates negative reactions within you. One
of the negative reactions I have is when there's a lot of ads on Facebook, right?
Yes.
But sometimes there's genuine stuff that businesses are posting and people post the annoying laughing face when they're posting something serious. And it's just so bitchy and condescending. Every time I see the laughing face for something that's actually a serious thing, it really annoys me.
Today we had to put down 5 different dogs. Laughing face, LMFAO, RFOL, helicopter.
Or someone's advertising, a pair of shoes. And if you buy a pair of shoes, it gives one to someone in Africa or something. That's a thing that someone does. And then there'll be a bunch of the heart emoji and the emoji and then 10 laughing emojis. No, stop being a dick. That's you know what I mean? But then for some reason I absorb that negative energy, even though it's not directed at me or a product that I care about. And then there's like people saying stupid crap on there. And every time I'm doing it, I'm like, why do I do this? I just need to get rid of this app because I literally just use it to occasionally scroll through stuff I don't care about that just makes me mad. So I thought about that, and I'm considering whether it might be time to delete it.
Aren't you supposed to be running our Facebook page?
Well, it's true, but everything you post on Instagram just goes onto the page.
Because you haven't posted anything on our Facebook page. I know, but
at the same time, I'm not, I don't know.
I have to continually desync my rewind so I could sync Namely 90s and post it to there.
To the Insta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Facebook's stupid account settings only let you have one cross-link between profiles.
Sure. No, the whole thing's just very sad. I think I'm going to stop doing it.
Yeah, Facebook is terrible. You should. Yeah, it's for the olds now, and I don't want to be old.
Yeah, but I can't figure out Twitter. I'm too old for TikTok.
You just told me mere days ago that you're like, I am going to be a Twitter guy now. But the problem is that no one interacts with anything, and I don't know how to actually make them interact. It's like talking to no one. That's pretty much what Twitter is.
Yeah, see, I don't want to
you throw your consciousness into the universe, and sometimes people find it funny.
If they find it.
Well, that's where hashtags come in, and responding and being critical of other people's posts.
Oh, yeah, sounds healthy.
Yeah, totally. That's not. Yeah, no, it's not. That's why celebrities don't enjoy Twitter.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just people asking when Rick and Morty season 6 is coming out, even though 5 is currently airing. And that's why Dan Harmon's no longer on Twitter, except on a secret account.
Yeah, I feel like the people who complain about Twitter need to quiet down, because at least you get interactions on Twitter. The rest of us are just like, yeah, I'm on Twitter to just scroll and look at stuff that I don't care about, and for me to say stuff that I think is witty. The thing that's always sort of tragic is when you see a bunch of comedians writing stuff on there that you know they're just really stretching to try to be hilarious and go viral, but it's not funny because you can tell they're trying too hard. See, look how toxic I'm becoming from social media. Social media.
You're already becoming angry over.
Yeah, becoming toxic in quotes.
The only thing that's in quotes there is becoming.
Yeah.
And it's also spelled wrong.
Yeah.
What does that remind me of? Someone, I don't know. I feel like someone wrote the wrong 2 in a tweet, and I was just like,
No, the people who complain about Twitter, who are really popular on Twitter, annoy me as much as the Adam Carollas of the world, who again are like, I built this podcast network from the ground up. Yeah, you already had 1 million fans. Like, good for you. You post anything and people listen to it. The rest of us are all scratching and clawing our eyeballs out trying to get like 1 listener.
Thank you for listening to our 1 listener.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We appreciate you. 1 listener. Tell your friends. We've been asking you to tell your friends.
Join Jules' green room.
No, you don't have to give us money.
No, you don't do that. You just say hi to us on Twitter and not Facebook, apparently.
We'll start posting Spotify playlists for you.
No, actually, ever since an angry customer found me on Facebook and started bitching at me, that kind of was like what soured me to it. And now I'm wondering if I should just get rid of it entirely.
What? Is your Facebook public?
Well, you can find me. You can't see all my stuff.
Yeah, but they started bitching at you?
Well, he asked to send a message to me. And I didn't accept it, but I could see like the first few words of it.
They shouldn't.
So I just declined it. Anyway,
social media connecting us in more ways than ever.
Anyway, anything new with you, or should we jump into the episode?
Anything new with me? Nope. Cool. Let's jump into.
Oh, I got a new microphone and audio setup. I hope it's working well for you all. I recorded the last episode with it, so.
Yeah, what he's saying is he's made more work for me to figure out his new audio settings. So if he sounds different,
at least I don't lose my left channel anymore, or whatever it was, or the right channel.
It was your left channel. But now when I'm mixing these 2 episodes, hopefully future Brandon remembers this. I have to redo your whole audio.
And just wait
mix.
till I have to rent the office between when this is done and my shed is done, because then I'll have to put my USB mic back in temporarily.
Yay.
You're welcome.
How's that she shed coming along?
I'm going to order it next week, and it's 5 weeks out, plus an electrical and build out. So probably another 8 weeks.
Oh, we might be able to cover the gap. You might not have to rent another office.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's travel back, listeners, and out of the inside baseball to July 1999. Oh, I'm so sad. Next week's going to be July 1990. We don't do well on the night.
Prepare to know nothing. Prepare to be like me.
I'll have to, instead of just all the movies that came out and talk about all those, I'm going to have to like prepare a game or something. On the 2nd, author Mario Puzo dies. Do you know what Mario Puzo wrote?
No, I do not.
He wrote The Godfather.
The what? I'm not familiar.
Godfather. I
I'm
know you're
kidding.
not. You haven't seen it.
I'm familiar with the movie.
You, an Italian American, has not seen The Godfather.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Or Goodfellas.
I can't do the Italian impersonation without having seen it. Otherwise, it's just offensive. I'm going to get killed by the mob.
It's, I mean, you're going through all these terrible 2000s movies when a 1970s classic it's a cinematic masterpiece.
Listen, 27 Dresses isn't going to watch itself, okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it could if it wanted to.
Isn't that a sequel to The Godfather in some way?
Yes. It's
about weddings.
It's the bridesmaid of the daughter that gets married in The Godfather. That's how it's
somehow
linked.
Katherine Heigl.
Yes.
Okay.
Her original Italian name was Catherine Higili. On the 4th, David Beckham marries former Spice Girl Victoria Beckham. I couldn't find her maiden name.
I was going to say they had the same last name. Maybe they did.
It's possible they were related. On the 8th, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is published in the United Kingdom, which is weird because just last week the previous book was published in the UK. How did she turn these around so quickly?
I don't know.
On the 13th, MLB All-Star. On the 13th, we have an MLB All-Star game. The AL wins yet again, 4-1 at Fenway Park in Boston. On the 15th, we have the inaugural game at the Seattle Mariners Safeco Field. First game.
Now known as T-Mobile Park.
Boo. I opened the roof on Safeco Field. On the 16th, JFK Jr. dies in a plane crash along with his wife and sister-in-law.
That's an unlucky family. Just going to say that right now.
It really is. On the 17th, Helen Hunt marries Hank Azaria. Do you know who either of those people are?
Helen Hunt is Jodie Foster, and Hank Azaria is the voice of many characters on The Simpsons, but also plays this annoying character
on Friends.
Who's like Phoebe's love interest, and it's like the most annoying character in the history of the world.
Well, he gets shipped off to... Is he the one that gets shipped off to the North Pole or whatever?
No, it's some sort of Eastern European country.
Siberia.
No, I'll think of it.
Do you know what character he plays on The Simpsons?
A lot of them. I can't remember which one specifically.
Can you name one character he plays on The Simpsons?
I know he does Apu because he stopped doing the voice.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know one he doesn't do anymore.
Because it's offensive.
Yes. On the 22nd, Woodstock.
Minsk.
99.
He goes to Minsk.
Minsk. That's Russia. That's basically the North Pole. On the 22nd. Is that Belarus? Okay. On the 22nd, Woodstock 99 Music Festival begins. On the 25th, Lance Armstrong wins his first of 7 consecutive Tour de France titles, which he's been stripped of now due to his performance-enhancing drugs that he used.
Ooh.
Which might have just been because he lost a testicle. On the 26th,
lighter.
Mario Golf. He is lighter. Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64 is released. And on the 27th, pro skater Tony Hawk becomes the first skateboarder to ever land the 900.
So that's
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, because 1080 is three full.
Yep. You're right.
TV premiering and ending. We have on the 7th, Good Eats on the Food Network. On the 11th, premiering Making the Video on MTV. Ending on the 9th is Two of a Kind, starring the Olsen twins on ABC.
Starring Lindsay Lohan as two different people that are the same.
Not on a TV budget. On the 24th, also ending is Cow and Chicken on Cartoon Network. And in the box office, on the 9th, we have American Pie. On the 14th, we have The Blair Witch Project and Muppets from Space. Is it from space or in space? On the 16th, we have Eyes Wide Shut. On the 23rd, we have the live-action Inspector Gadget, played by Matthew Broderick. On the 24th, we have the Disney Channel original movie Johnny Tsunami. And on the 28th, we have Deep Blue Sea. And the 29th, Runaway Bride for Andrew's rom-com.
Can I just interject and say, I'm not sure what this is or if anyone else has a similar response, and I don't know why I have this response. But every time someone says Matthew Broderick, I just have like a look on my face and start to groan. I don't know why that is.
Well, because for some reason you don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then you hate his wife, Sarah Jessica Parker.
I don't hate his wife. I just think she looks interesting. And have mostly just been stealing jokes from other shows and comedians about her, when in fact I don't really have much of an opinion on her other than to say that Sex and the City is a stupid show for men to watch. But if they want to, they can.
So many things to unpack there. On the Billboard charts, number 1 for July 1999. In from June for the first 2 weeks, we have If You Had My Love by Jennifer Lopez. Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child for the 3rd week. Wild Wild West by Will Smith for the 4th week. And for the last week and on into August, we have Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera.
Oh my gosh, are you going to read the lyrics from that one? I'm a genie in a bottle. You got to rub me the right way. I believe that's one of the lines from that song.
Maybe in August 99, but we do not have time to cover that in today's episode. I don't think.
I think I've said all that needs to be said about that.
Aloha, listeners of the Namely 90s podcast. My name is Bianca Wolwick, and I host a podcast called Please Don't Kick Me Out about imposter syndrome. You know, that feeling of walking into a room, feeling like you don't belong there, undeserving of your own accomplishments. Well, I interviewed B. Schwitty, aka Brandon, your Namely 90s co-host, and we talk all things nostalgia, pop culture, winemaking, etc. It's a real hoot, and I think it'll help you guys feel less alone. So if you like that idea, visit pleasedon'tkickmeout.com, or it's available anywhere you get your pods. Check it out. It's a great episode, and I hope you enjoy it, and mahalo for listening.
That's right. You can check me out on Bianca's podcast today. So if you enjoy listening to me talk, which you're listening to this, so obviously you do, head over to pleasedon'tkickmeout.com and look for episode 79 featuring me, Brandon. I had a good time on the show, and thanks to Bianca for having me. There should be a link to pleasedon'tkickmeout.com in the description for this episode. So please go check that episode out after you're done listening here. And now back to the show. Which I don't think I said last episode. Anywhere you want to go? Anywhere that interests you? Want to hate on Matthew Broderick some more?
No, I don't know. I have reactions to certain things, and he's one of them for some reason, even though I don't really watch his stuff.
You hated the Music Man? Was it Music Man?
Not familiar.
The producers?
I don't know. How about Safeco Field?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about it before, haven't we?
I don't know. I would argue
Kingdome Demolition, maybe
one of the finest ballparks in the MLB. Very nice facility to go and visit. Great food. Arguably some of the best food available.
What is your favorite food at Safeco Field?
Oh gosh, I haven't been there in so long.
What was your favorite food at Safeco Field? Or
I don't know.
T-Mobile Park, I guess.
The garlic fries. I mean, you sweat garlic for days, and the fries are not usually that crispy, but for some reason they just works. Like they're so good.
For me, since we're on food, if you go down to the Bullpen Market, they used to have a really good pulled pork smokehouse barbecue thing down there that they would top on top of like a hot link, and so it would be hot dog style hot link topped with like pulled pork and slathered in a good barbecue sauce, and that was delicious.
Speaking of garlic fries, was that you? Was it that you tripped and dropped your garlic fries at the hockey game, or did you get hit by the t-shirt cannon and drop them?
I wish I think the story we said was I got hit by the t-shirt cannon.
Yeah, for some reason in my mind, the t-shirt nailed you from the t-shirt cannon and you dropped your garlic fries. But in reality, I think you dropped them walking up the stairs, then had to go get more. Yeah,
I missed a step. It was either up or down. I think it was up. Because I was trying to fast step them, and then I did not step on the next step up. I stepped on the air, and my next foot was already going up. So I just took a knee onto the stairwell onto my garlic fries. But yes, that is something that happened to me at an Everett Silvertips game.
Remember back in the day where I could go upstairs? Those were the days.
Are you unable to do stairs now?
Pretty much, yeah. Unless I have a railing on both sides, and it still doesn't look very good.
Well, there were railings.
One. I don't do well with stairs.
That's unfortunate. There was an elevator there, though.
That's right. Well, what you have to do, what I end up having to do is I either have to stay in the top row of the lower bowl so I can just walk into the first row without having to go downstairs. Or if I go to the top, at the top of the bowl, I can sit around there because there's an elevator to there. So I'll just have to get a suite from now on if I ever move back.
Might as well. Or at the new Kraken Stadium.
Oh, yeah, right. Like I could afford that, or there'd be one available.
Excuse me. Oh, yeah, that's true. You can convince your company to
buy it in a place 6 hours from us.
Exactly.
Excellent.
They share it with other companies. It makes sense. Yeah, so Safeco Field. I also the Ivor Dog, which I don't think they do anymore, but that was.
Was it the second stadium with retractable roof?
I didn't. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of retractable roof stadiums.
Well, anyway, it makes a lot of sense in Seattle, obviously, with the amount of rain. So that was really cool. It was always cool when you could actually see the roof move during the game.
Oh yeah. Well, so my dad was one of the 4 security head or monitor guard head guys at for a while there, and so he would watch the security cams, and they had a field day for the kids staff one day, and I got to press the button that opens the roof to T-Mobile Park. All
right, describe the button. I need to know more details about the button.
So like in movies when they have the nuclear launch button, so it has like the protective covering over it. You have to flip that up. It's a red button. It's an industrial style red button. So like it's the same button that you would press if you were doing an emergency stop on an industrial
like a big
machine.
Red. Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the exact button.
And you just press it once and let go, and it just closes?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems sort of anticlimactic.
It really was. But it takes so long for the response to go to the roof, and then the roof takes 15 minutes to close.
Yeah.
It might have been let's see. It's unique that it only has an umbrella style roof.
Right, it doesn't become fully enclosed even when it's closed. It's still an open air stadium.
Right, so it might have been the first of that kind.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's T-Mobile Park now, which that's fine.
Yeah,
I have T-Mobile.
I do not. I have Verizon, and my social security number is.
It's already out there. You may as well give it out now.
Yeah.
Our one listener would use it to steal your identity.
Thank you for stealing. And then hopefully if you steal our identity, then you would send us money.
Yeah.
Of course, it would be our money, but still. Yeah, Safeco Field, loved it as a kid. Still, I remember, I think the All-Star game, I got to go to either the All-Star game or the home run derby, but we had tickets in the bleacher seats out under the Safeco sign.
Cool.
That was fun.
We had the state baseball championships at Safeco Field, and when I was in high school, and one of our players on our team hit a home run in Safeco Field, and they went on to play for, I think, Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Speaking of cool, Tony Hawk finally did the 900.
It's a lot of spinning, man.
I mean, I feel weird given that. Well, I know a lot about this. I've read 2 out of his 3 autobiographies.
Really?
That's a lie. I read 1 out of 4. But, if I remember correctly, the first 900 that he did there was like, I think it was either at an X game or at some place that had like this giant downhill ramp, which allowed you to, and then like a giant vert ramp at the end. So it allowed you to do, like high speed tricks, because doing 2.5 rotations is crazy. 360, 720. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.5.
So it's definitely, but it's a feat. It was the first ever 900 that I was one of those poser skater kids.
Dude, you're such a poser.
It was pretty cool. I remember seeing video of it. I think it's on YouTube. It was at the X Games.
Did he win the X Games forever?
Probably.
Okay, I gotta watch this video. Hold on. Wow.
Okay, I was wrong. It wasn't that big downhill to vert ramp.
The thing is, when you see him do it, it doesn't look impressive, which is why it's impressive.
Right. It's 2.5 rotations. He almost falls off the board there at the end. If you watch the rest of that video, you see him fall off a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
The important thing is that he kept getting back up.
Exactly. But yeah, that's skating history right there. And then it became something that you could just do by hitting up A and B on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which
that's cool.
We've talked about before. That HD remaster was pretty good, by the way. We talked about that all the way last year in September, I think.
Mm-hmm.
August. But yeah, it's coming out for the Switch now, which is not a sponsor.
Yeah. This podcast is not brought to you by Nintendo
or Activision, but they actually by the time people were listening to this last month, they were sponsoring the Nintendo Switch release on a couple channels I watched. So it was fresh in my head. I want to talk about American Pie. All right, go. Have you've never seen American Pie?
No, I have not. What's the point of this movie?
So Jason Biggs wants to fuck a pie.
That's the stupidest premise for a movie I've ever heard, and henceforth is why I have not seen it.
That is not the premise of the movie. I was just making a joke.
Okay.
So the premise of American Pie, it's the senior year of high school for 4 awkward kids, played by Jason Biggs, Chris Klein, Thomas Ian Nicholas, and Eddie Cade Thomas. And they make a pact that by the end of high school, they will all lose their virginity. And then there's a 5th male character played by Sean William Scott, named Stifler. Stifler's mom is hot, so that's where the term MILF came from.
Oh, I didn't know it came from this movie.
Oh yeah, John Cho. Well, it's possible it was in like some circles before this, but this is what popularized the term MILF. and launched it into pop culture. That's Mother I'd like to be friends with. MILF. And yes, one of the four boys ends up losing their virginity to her. On Eugene Levy plays Jason Biggs' dad, so he has all these awkward conversations with him about growing up, and sometimes I can't do it. I can't do it, Eugene Levy. Anyway, Tara Reid's also in this. Mina Savari. Allison Hannigan plays the girl that Jason Biggs' character eventually loses his virginity to. But before that, he's trying to get with Shannon Elizabeth's character, who she plays a foreign exchange student. Natasha Lyonne's in this as well. Like a lot of actors that became big on The Orange is the New Black. No, but yeah, Allison Hannigan's character is Michelle, is the one that's known for the line. Actually, I was gonna play some quotes, but
who is this movie for?
This one time at band camp, I stuck a flute up my.
Who is this movie for?
This is for teens. This is one of those coming of age. It's a sex comedy, so it's for people in their teens, even though it's rated R. So it's like, yeah,
because I feel like if you're out of high school, it's creepy,
right? That
you would enjoy it, and if you're in high school, you probably shouldn't be watching it.
Yes, I watched it when we were in middle school.
Wow.
Yes, I may. Well, I got American Pie 2. Someone. I think I bought it off of eBay.
Apparently, it's going to be on Bravo all day on Sunday, July 4th. Just in case you were wondering,
it's on Bravo. Wow.
Yeah. It's a great network. They would obviously affiliate itself with such movies.
So, the name American Pie came from a scene in the movie where one of the characters, I believe it was Stifler, says that third base feels like warm apple pie. And if you're watching our video version, you got to see me make an obscene hand gesture. So at one point, Jason Biggs is home alone and his mom had just made a fresh apple pie. And so he's like feeling around in it. And then it cuts away, and then Eugene Levy comes home and walks in, and Jason Biggs is just on the counter fucking a pie.
That's first of all, those things are like napalm when they're first out of the oven. So I hope he waited long enough. Would be first problem.
It was long enough that his mom had left.
I would not care to see this movie.
I mean, the first one's a bit crude, but the second one was a good tale of. Well, they're all tales of friendship, and the characters are endearing. Maybe a little crude. I haven't watched it in over a decade, so maybe possibly 2 at this point. Possibly exactly 2 at this point. But because I've seen all of the theatrically released films, because it becomes a franchise, and there are problematic scenes in this where like Jason Biggs has Shannon Elizabeth's character over to study, and then she needs to change because she came straight from ballet, and he's like, you could change in my room, to which he has a webcam set up, then runs from his house to his friend's house, and then has accidentally broadcast it publicly to everyone in the school. Yeah, so not great.
At least you didn't take her clothes off with a sword. True.
It was no Zorro. It has a really good soundtrack. Goldfinger, Blink-182, Third Eye Blind, Dishwalla, Sugar Ray. You remember how we saw Superbad?
Yeah.
This is basically Superbad for 1999.
I don't know. It seems weird. I mean, maybe it's because I'm an old person, but it feels like it would be more appropriate if it was a college-based movie, which I'm sure they ended up doing.
Well, I mean, Are you gonna go back and watch Superbad right now?
No. I bet there was like American Pie 8 sex buddies or something.
Well, so
the dogs make a reappearance.
So you're not far off. They it went American Pie 2, and then American Wedding, which most of the main cast returned for. And then American Reunion in 2012, except between American Wedding and American Reunion, they had spin-off direct-to-DVD movies, starting with American Pie Presents Bandcamp, American Pie Presents The Naked Mile, American Pie Presents Beta House, American Pie Presents The Book of Love, and then in 2020, there was a new one for Netflix called American Pie Presents Girls Rules. Which that one I haven't seen. I think I've seen a couple of the Presents ones, but they're terrible.
American Cobbler, American Crisp.
But the American Pie Presents don't really have that many recurring characters, or none of the main characters, and they're all based on like Stifler's younger brother, Stifler's cousin, and he also calls himself Stifler, but. Eventually, they caught on because Beta House is a college movie, and I think Book of Love is that's back in high school because one of the characters gets the Book of Love and that eats out Tara with the botched nipple surgery. Tara Reid. She has her first O with Kevin, and that's why she wants to lose her virginity to him. I don't remember.
Wow,
the plot.
This just sounds like an awful movie.
It's through my young lenses, nostalgia lenses. It's a great movie, but yeah, it's a raunchy sex comedy. There's not much else to it. John Cho is in this as MILF guy number 1.
What a great credit to have on your resume.
Right? I think that was pre-Harold and Kumar. I mean, obviously it was. This was 1999. But yeah, I have good memories and probably more parts of my problematic relationship with women since. Because I think everything should be like it is in a movie.
Yeah, I kind of thought so.
That's why I'm single and you're married. Before we end this, Johnny Tsunami, Go Big or Go Home, and Matthew Broderick again as Inspector Gadget. Deserves to be talked about. It was bad. There, we talked about it.
And done.
Yeah, no. I forget who played Penny, but
yeah, I've never seen it. I don't know. I don't know.
It got a second movie too. That was the worst part.
I will certainly be watching that before I watch The Godfather.
That was why. It was Michelle Trachtenberg was Penny.
That explains it.
That's why I remember it. But in the sequel, French Stewart played Inspector Gadget.
What are you squinting about?
And someone I've never heard of plays Penny. So yeah. That was 2003, and it won't be in our purview. So, yes, Inspector Gadget, I liked it as a kid because it was Ferris Bueller playing Inspector Gadget and Michelle Trachtenberg playing Penny. And Johnny Tsunami, Go Big or Go Home. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about before we leave this episode of July 1997?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to pass out from the heat momentarily, so we should probably wrap this up.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you could find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely 90s with a 90s, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty and at Namely Andrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/namely90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. I can't. Hawkman, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcast at. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we will catch you next time. Oh God, my camera's dead.